Recording.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes. Welcome to another one.
Welcome, welcome. First of all, I wasn't gonna be on camera today, but hey, bang first.
Yeah. Nah. Do you know what I've learned today? It took me a while to learn this lesson.
Yeah,
Mm, it's like the more you say no to other people,
yeah.
the more you can say yes to yourself.
I was about to say, okay, are you carrying on? Carry on.
After when you start saying no to others and yes to yourself,
Yeah,
that's when your life begins.
yeah. I fully agree.
It was frustrating to learn that because it took me a minute to learn all of this. It's like, oh, why didn't I have this information all along?
I think I think we never knew what saying yes to us meant. We always wanted to help others. You see, when you have a good heart,
Hmm.
you always want to help someone. So you think doing good is you feeding into yourself, like you're feeding positivity and whatever. But what you're actually doing, you're draining yourself. So because you're
You're
giving out
exhausting
energy,
yourself.
yeah, you're giving out energy, and you think you're just doing good, and it's gonna turn out good. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
There is some small truth to that. I can say, yeah, I can attest. There is some small truth that sometimes the more you give is also the more you receive. But sometimes you get those people who are just takers.
yeah,
The takers, you think you're helping them, but actually you're killing yourself.
and you're killing them too sometimes.
Because I think for me, this all happens because, like, when you were raised by hip hop, like I'll say I'm a proud hip hop fan.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like all these artists is like, hey, because even Lil Wayne once said, I give some bread to my homies. I don't want none of it back.
yeah, yeah.
I was that guy, like, hey, give someone you need help. Okay, what's the problem? First one you call, hey,
You see on that. That's why I want to say we were yeah, about even that culture, but even parents at schools, whatever. You know the sayings, the hand that gives.
mm,
You know, yeah, those sayings. I had a friend who was like made an example with that part. It was like, if you are able to give, you're open to receive. You know, those
mm.
type of things. But what we are not told is who to give to. That we are never taught who to give to. You
Oof,
know, so I
oof.
think that's where it
It's the
is.
who.
Yeah. So, but it's on the assumption that I think people were, or in back in the day, or in the family, it's the assumption that Valen, now when you're good, you're gonna do the same to me. It's
Exactly,
assumed
yeah.
loyalty in a sense.
I think that's our problem.
Yeah.
When it comes to giving, there needs to be rules.
Yeah.
There are untold rules that we never heard of.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
so number one, I'll state my untold rule. I have one. I just made it up. So number one, I think the number one rule one should follow is that give when you only can, and when you can, don't give with the intentions of getting something back.
Yeah.
Don't give with the expectation of receiving
Receiving
something back.
Yeah. That's genuinely
That's
not
the
giving.
intention key.
Yeah.
So number one, only give when you can,
Yeah.
and when you can, give without expecting to receive anything
In return. Yeah.
in return.
Okay. What's the number two?
What's your number two? Share your number two.
I don't have rules, but I think
No, I learned this rule thing because I was thinking about this. Like, no, man, what's going on? Like, hey, when you just start studying like successful people,
yeah.
then you check like, okay, well, what am I doing
Yeah.
and what are they doing? And then you see like, hey, I think it was Elon Musk's ex. Like, hey,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, hey, success people. The biggest difference between successful people is successful people say no a lot.
Yeah. There's this. I think he's a boxing coach or is a runner. It's something big in the. He was like, they asked him, "What's your key to success?" It's like rule number one: you have to have vitamin N, and that's vitamin no.
Oof.
You know, you need to learn how to say no. You know, in all sense. But I want to add on your thingy on don't give, only give what you can. It's the same as I take it. You know, I always envisioned it because you know obviously, in school they preach about when they preach about God. I'm not gonna get into that much, but they say he gives, like, he pours your cup and it overflows. I always took it like I can only give the part that is overflowing, but I'm not
Oh,
gonna take away from my cup.
oh, that's a
Am I making
beautiful one.
sense?
I follow
So
you. I
I
follow
will
you.
never take away from my cup, but I will take away from the overflow. So the overflow I will happily give.
The excess.
Yeah, I don't care who I give it to. The what's in my cup, I'm only giving to people that will also give back. You know, and you, obviously,
Exactly.
by the time you discover relationships and you know who to give to, which comes in the give to. But I will never give to someone Gingy into that, like, from my cup, but from the overflow, I will give happily. Yeah. So it's that's how I always envisioned it in a sense. It's since I was young. I've always, when they said, I was like, but why don't you just give the overflow, the overflow?
Not the excess. I think too often, like when you climb to the top,
Yeah.
like you too focused. Hey, I want to take everyone with.
Ooh. And I think that's,
But
yeah,
the scary part is like not everyone can go.
yeah, yeah. It's like
That's
it's,
the hardest realization. Like not everyone can go to where you're going.
yeah.
You might have this in your mind, like, hey,
Excuse
this
me.
is the future for us. Like, hey, this is big, and we all can get there.
But not everyone can get it.
But no. It's not that not everyone can get there. Anyone can get there. Just that most of us are not willing to work to get there.
Yeah.
We all want the shortcuts.
You know, when you talking about the top, there was this story I read about the eagle, that when it gets attacked by, I don't know, an owl or something. I don't know if you told me.
Oh, that's
It's that story. Yeah, I don't know where I read. It's like
It just keeps
it
on
keeps
flying
on going,
to.
yeah, going high until because obviously the eagle can go higher than the. So that's the thing. With some people, you're gonna get up, go up, go up, but when they get up there, they can't breathe anymore. So obviously they slack, and
Exactly.
yeah, you need to keep on going higher because you can. But it takes sacrifice. People think it's just easy. Obviously, it's gonna take away something.
It's like the hardest bar I've ever heard in hip hop is like, I forgot who said it. He's like,
Yeah,
everyone tells me to keep it hood, but what the hood do for me?
I think that's the. Hey, but I don't want to get into that other one because it's, yeah. But I think it's
Exactly. Yeah, because it's like, so
that
this goes to,
okay. So okay, you go on.
okay, you finish.
All right. No, I think it's especially from the gents. Females don't do this that much. Actually, they don't do this. Females, yeah, lap na lap, but they will get out. But what that is, it's like the same as people don't, gents don't wanna move out of the hood because of the sake of that loyalty of I want you to us type of thing. It's like, so even though it's like I'm from the hood, and they understand that the hood was created for them to starve in a sense. You know what I mean? It was created for them to starve. So females hardly have this. That's the thing. But gents, they genuinely live in that thing. It's like when you do better or whatever, like so yeah, but when you're just taking yourself out because there's a bigger world out there, you know. There's a bigger world.
Can I share some
Yeah.
life lessons my mentor gave me?
Yeah.
It's like a few 15. I'll read the first. Okay, I'll try to read them all.
Yeah.
It's like, lesson 1: don't lend money to your family, give it. Lesson 2: never shake a hand while sitting.
Yeah.
3: stop telling people more than they need to know. Number 4: never eat the last piece of something you didn't buy. Number 5: don't throw your friend under the bus to impress someone. Number 6: never insult the cooking when you're the guest. Don't use the urinal. Don't use the urinal next to an occupied one. Okay, that's an obvious one.
It's okay.
You've never gotten those guys who just come.
I've had
All these urinals
yeah,
here, and then they just
it's
come to the last
next
one.
to you, like,
Okay, that's okay. Okay, number 8: don't take your phone out during conversation. Number 9: Don't never take credit for work you didn't do. Number 10, listen, nod, and most of all, make eye contact.
Yeah. But the other ones, they have to do some of them.
Somewhat debatable. Somewhat
No,
debatable.
besides debatable, some have like reasoning in why people do it, like saying more than you need to because seeking validation. Like some people have never had that person that really hears them, so they always feel like they have to overshare. So they just want people to see, like, oh, you know what I mean? And they don't understand that they actually, that's the matter, because you might be telling the wrong person. You know?
That's true. Also.
Yeah. So
I think okay to add to our rules, like
Yeah.
the second one, I put the first life lesson in this, like, hey, never give money to family. Never lend money to family.
Yeah.
Give it. Because even Kevin O'Leary said something about this. It's like, hey, he never lends money to family.
Yeah.
Like you get those family members, like, hey, I have this business idea, this genius business idea. I need 50K, 100,000. And he's like, no. He only gives the money in one condition. You'll never ask me again for money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was gonna get to the condition, but you know what the thing is? It's sometimes it goes back to my overflow. Even if family like that, will not do anything for you, give them the part that's overflowing. Don't give them something that will take away from you.
Yeah, I think,
Obviously you give them money, but when you're not in a good space, they don't reciprocate the energy.
Yeah.
So you can't. You see, now obviously now you're gonna get to a point, but that's where I have this rule. I think you also have this rule. It's like, I will give you money because I know you're not gonna pay me back, so that you don't ask me for money anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So that.
Yeah, that's the lesson I got from the Bronx Tale. It's a great movie. Like, I recommend. I forgot the kid's name, but yeah. This kid owed someone 10 rand, like $10. Then, like, Sonny, the gangster, is like, hey, why you keep on chasing the kid up and down? Like, the kid's like, no, he owes money, he must pay back. Like, hey, it cost him $10 to get. It cost him $10 for him to get out of your life,
Yeah. Yeah,
and you're still complaining about
it. Exactly.
So that's how I applied this rule
Yeah.
to, like, throughout my entire life. I was like, hey, okay, I'll give someone and just hope, okay, you don't have to pay back.
Yeah.
But there's like, hey, leave me alone. Now we're no longer friends
Yeah.
because you overstepped.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's how I applied throughout life. It's like, hey, we no longer in those good terms anymore. You can't ask me for any favors. It cost you that 1,000 rand to get out of my life, then it's cool.
It's cool. You're out for the rest of my life.
You're out.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing we need to learn also. Like, learn the rules to the giving.
Yeah, learn the rules of the giving, man.
Yeah. Only give when your cup overflows.
Give the overflowing part. Do not take from your cup. That's just.
Yeah. Like, it's like never drown yourself while trying to save a drowning person.
Yeah.
That's the golden rule. Oh,
the golden
what's
rule.
this? The lifeguards.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lifeguards will tell you, if the person you see is busy, frantic, and throwing their arms out, it's like, hey, leave them.
Let him.
Because if you try to save them, they'll push you with down. Then you both drown. Yeah. They'll take you with. So just throw a rope when you can, but only once your cup overflows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once your cup overflows, and then that's the only time, hey, I could give now.
Yeah, I can
I'm
give.
at a position where
I can give. And it's not, I'm not affected.
You're not affected in any way. And once you give, don't expect anything
in return.
In return.
But I've never understood well, I understand it in the sense of some people don't pay back whatever, but like even with my sister, I have this relationship, like if I'm paying, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, like she's like, she forgot my card, whatever, I'm paying. I never expect it back, it's like, wait, you know what I mean? Because I know she did the same.
Yeah, but I think then it gets to a different position where it's like, hey, because that's a different situation. Like, imagine, like, I come, hey, Phil, I need 10,000.
What do you
Yeah.
hear?
Hey, I have personal reasons. Like, hey,
If I have it, but that's the thing, it's different with you. If I have the 10K and you need it,
you can't hold everyone to the same standards. That's what
and you
I've
always
learned.
tell me that, yeah, but no.
Like, that's the biggest thing. The biggest lesson I've learned. It's like, hey, I can't hold anyone to the same standards.
Yeah, you can't, but
The way I treat Phil can't be the same I treat another person, X, Y, Z.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. With you, it's different. I'm not gonna
And
give someone
sometimes,
else 10K.
yeah, and sometimes I also think it's like, hey, my biggest mindset was like, hey, like, if I was in this position, I know I'll reciprocate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You like to think, hey, you see a bit of you in that person, like, hey, I know if I was in this position, if I'm good, I'll pay it back.
yeah, yeah.
We're not all the same.
We're not all the same. Yeah, I've learned that the hard way.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like the same thing I was telling you. It's like, hey, gratitude is a burden and revenge is a pleasure.
Yeah,
It's like, I think Robert Greene, yeah.
yeah,
People would much rather repay an injury because revenge is pleasure and
Yeah.
gratitude is a burden.
yeah,
That's like one of the powerful lessons.
yeah.
Because sometimes, like, the world is not all sunshine and roses. That's what I'm learning. Like, hey,
It's not. It's not.
like sometimes people don't get it. Like, it's not about the money; it's about the principles.
Mm. Yeah. I was also saying, so I was like, hey, you know another thing there? What? It's like I don't know who I was talking to about this, and it's running away. Like but it was I was telling Zukuti, life will never be fair, man. Like you can complain to it, and then it came back to that Joe Rogan thing. What he was saying,
Like, good.
yeah, it's like good, you know. And I was also watching something now as well. Yeah, it's like no matter what someone does to you, how bad they do you, it's like it's okay. Like it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them and how they view the world and how they view themselves. It's okay. Yes,
Oh
they
yeah,
hurt me.
this friend of mine, Zama, said something interesting. It's like, your opinion of the world is a confession of your character.
Yeah, definitely. I believe in that.
That was the most powerful thing. I was like, oh.
Mm. That's
So whatever I think of the world, it's a confession of my character.
the confession of your character.
And then you see like the pessimist, like the optimist, and it's
Yeah.
like,
And then you get the naive. as
then the
well.
naive,
Yeah,
the nihilistic. And it's like, hey,
yeah.
oh,
It's hectic, you know.
this is like, then you choose if, like, hey.
And everyone has a choice, hey. As much as you think you don't, you do.
Yeah, to a degree, everyone has a choice.
To a degree, yeah. I'm not saying your choice is privileged as mine.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
But that's another thing from the movie you made me watch. Like some people will always want more. It's like you have everything you want, but you still want more. You know, it has the power you want. Like it's never
Like,
enough
enough is never enough.
because you're not happy with what you have. So finding gratitude in what you have and being happy with what you have, I feel like you become more happier or more at peace. You know, it's the same as back in the day. I used to always ask my friend, and this is off topic, yeah. They'll always go for every girl. I'm like, but you have of 3, 4 girls. Why are you still going for more? It's like why? Like what? Okay, what do these have that the others don't have? But it's like that gratitude is not really there over to what they have, so they always seeking for more. And it happens with all of us.
Okay, I think that's hedonistic behavior, like
Is it?
chasing for pleasure,
Yeah.
happiness,
It's
joy.
that dopamine.
Yeah, that dopamine.
It's always the same as okay, I'm not clear because I'm gonna get in relationships. I don't wanna.
Okay, yeah, because for me, I think like growing up, like my favorite movie was like The Pursuit of Happiness.
Mm.
Like the pursuit, like, hey, happiness is not promised, it's not guaranteed.
Mm.
But you have the right to pursue it.
But you said you don't believe in that anymore.
Yeah, and it's only once you grow, like, no,
Oh.
I'm chasing the wrong things.
I was getting confused now.
Because you'll see, you get into a relationship where there are times where you're no longer happy. Are you going to pursue happiness somewhere else?
That's up to you. But you'll never really be happy.
You'll never really be happy.
Yeah. You never. I think that's what we were not told. It's like you will never. There will come a time where you're just not happy, and you need to go through that period. Like you're going through it. You know, it's you don't.
Because it's a thing of like the reflection on your bank account is a reflection of the number of people you affect.
Yeah.
So meaning, if let's say I sell a product, I sell it to people, the money I get will only be from those two people.
Yeah. So okay.
So that's the thing. What we were not told is sometimes we get fulfillment, or you get success, you become successful by giving value.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the Taylor Swift.
Cause okay, sorry. Like Kanye West said, well, one interesting line I loved, like, I think it was with his interview on Lex Friedman,
Yeah.
and this guy was like, it's like, how do you want to be remembered as? It's like, I want to be forgotten, but if anything, I want to be useful.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we can really hope for. Is like, hey, I was useful.
Yeah. You had an impact on someone.
That's the biggest thing you could be. Is like, hey, I was useful. Like, hey,
Yeah. You were a part.
having you in my life did this. You see
Yeah.
that impact.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally that. Because even the Taylor Swift thing, like, you know, she literally like responds to her mail post. So she'll go, yeah, and then sometimes she gets invited to weddings and she'll attend the weddings and surprise the groom, and yeah, you know, that's her having an impact that's gonna change their lives. Like she's gonna remember that day for the rest of her life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? She could not go. She can stay and be like, I'm going for the whole day here. I could be making 20, 50
I don't know
million.
this person.
I don't know this. I don't need to. But she's using her influence and being impactful in that person's life and making their day and their wedding. You know what I mean? So I think that you need to have that. I was useful, like you know what I mean. Be useful to the people that matter as well.
Because I think growing up, you were not told that. Because I think that's one of the biggest mistakes I made. Like while growing up, like you were told, like, hey, chase the bag, chase the bag,
Yeah, chase the bag.
The bag keeps running away
The
from
bag
you.
runs away, guys.
Exactly. It's like, hey, what are you doing to attract the bag?
Yeah.
What value are you putting out there? Like, hey, make something of value, and the money will just follow.
Yeah.
The more people you affect, the more money you'll make.
Yeah.
That's simply it.
Because the I think it's the first impression rule or something. Because people never forget how you made them feel.
Exactly. Like the first impression always counts.
It always counts. They will never forget how you made them feel.
Mm.
You know, that's why I love colognes and all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man.
So, but yeah. Okay. I think the take home.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaway is like, hey, the more you say no to other people, the more yes you can start saying to yourself. Your life will begin once you start saying to you yes to yourself more.
Yeah. And always give from the overflow.
Always give from the overflow.
Yeah.
Give where you can, and if you can, never expect something in return.
That's the rules.
Take care.